Hello and welcome to another video. In this video I once again am sitting in front of my ChessUp 2 board and I am ready to play some chess. So what I wanted to do today is to play against some of the bots in here because I can choose different levels of bots. And what I wanted to do is to just start at level 1 and then go up from there. So hopefully already tonight I will be able to beat, I think I want to beat at least the first 3 levels, but I'm not sure, maybe they get good already at level 3. But I think I'm gonna start here at level 1. Then I will talk a little bit about how I try to beat the level 1 engine, and then I will go up and play the next game and one more, and maybe we'll get 3 or 4 games, depending on how fast I can hopefully win against these bots. So let's start at level 1. I will choose a 0 assistance level, and I mean it's at 1, but you can't really go to 0, so this just means that it will highlight legal moves but nothing else. And I will let the bot or the board here pick a random color for me. And okay, so I have the I have the black pieces, and the bot here has the white pieces and starts out with this move, knight to c3. Not a very common move, but however not the worst move at all. At least it is developing a piece. And I will do, I think with the black pieces, kind of do the same. I think against level 1 it's not necessary to know a whole lot of opening theory, just playing normal moves, not hanging any pieces, and making sure to capture if the board or if the bot lets you take something. I think that should gain the win. Okay, so the bot here in level 1 so far has played 3 perfectly good moves. So far I don't want to say that I'm scared. I think that's taking it a bit too far, but I'm definitely surprised by the good moves that it has chosen so far. Let's see what happens if we actually make a threat. Like if I attack this bishop, will it move? Okay, it actually will. So it's not completely stupid, this level 1 bot. Let's see, what else could I think I'm just gonna continue. This was not necessarily a move I would play under normal circumstances, this h6 move, but I kind of wanted to see if it would even discover this very simple threat. So okay, let's I kind of wanted to push my e6 pawn, my e pawn, to get ready to castle, to put out this bishop and castle. But then this bishop would maybe be a little bit sad, so maybe we should develop this first. Okay, h4 is played instantly, and now I can play e6, making ready to get this bishop out. And okay, now I'm starting to not understand. I'm starting to see that this is not excellent chess at all. This bishop goes all the way back to c1. So white has spent 3 moves on this bishop, going to g5, going to f4, and now going back to c1. This means that with the black pieces I already have a lead in development. I have 2 pieces developed, and it's my turn, so I could develop yet another piece. Let's just play some normal chess now that white apparently doesn't want to do the same thing. Okay, g3, wanting to get out the bishop here, I guess, and I will just castle. I'm not playing super advanced fancy moves. I'm just playing normal chess so far. F4. Okay, so my level 1 opponent here is really creating some weaknesses over here by pushing these pawns. Like, imagine if I could attack this pawn, that would be super dangerous. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about a little bit of a weird looking move, like knight h5, just because it would attack this pawn and it's not so easy to protect. But then again, I think I want to win this game not by being super aggressive and forcing it. I just want to let my opponent make the mistakes. So I'll just keep on playing normal chess. And b3. Kind of funny that this bishop and c1 that both went to g5 and f4 now is probably seeking play on another diagonal. Okay, so I got out all of my minor pieces, both my bishops and my knights. So a natural next move could be something like queen e7, connecting the rooks. And now we see what I was hoping for, that the level 1 bot would eventually just make a mistake like this. This bishop has really been the worst piece in this battle. Completely, I don't know what is the word, restless. And now I can simply pick it up like this. Okay, and white keeps, the bot keeps its poker face, pretending like this was the plan, and instantly pushes this pawn to e4. Let's just make a quick count here. I have 1, 2, 3 pieces that can capture on e4, and white only has it defended 1 time. So I can simply capture. And again, I could try to calculate some variations, but I'm just going to capture with the knight because I know knights, they like to be in the middle of the board and I'm not getting any doubled pawns this way. Okay, white captures, which is not something you necessarily want to do when you're down in material. And I now see that I can capture with my bishop and attack the rook here on h1. White, on the other hand, did not notice this and pushes their g-pawn. And I will, of course, this is a free rook in the corner, no reason not to capture this. And now it's just, it's almost, I was so impressed by the first 3 or 4 moves by white, and now it's just a circus. Bishop g2, yes, but this of course can be captured as well. And c3, okay. White, this reminds me of an episode of the Queen's Gambit on Netflix. I think they talk about the opening Coward Khan, and they say that it's all pawns and no hope. And I feel like this is what white is doing at the moment. It's all pawns and absolutely no hope. This king standing in the middle is very unsafe, and I see that my queen here can capture on h4 with a check. The king has to run from the check, and I mean, I could give another check if I wanted to, or I could see if I could bring in some more pieces. The thing about this check is that the white queen can maybe interfere, but then I can take another pawn. I think just continuing to give checks is fine. They block with the knight instead. Maybe this is a better move, but still this allows me to attack the knight with my bishop. And I think this is the worst move in the position. Removing the queen from defending this knight. Because once the queen goes here, I can capture this knight, and even worse, I will capture with checkmate, as you will see from the beautiful colors in just a moment. And this is the board's way of telling me that I made checkmate. It said you won by checkmate. Perfect. Okay, let's go. I don't think we should celebrate this too much. I think we should go straight to level 2. Click next and next here, and then it just asks me to set up the pieces. Okay. And play. Let's see what color we'll get now. Okay, I get black once again. I don't mind. I think I want to save my white games for the higher levels. C4 this time. Okay. I have the black pieces, and I will just, I think, do what I did last time. Just develop normally, and I shouldn't worry too much about the kind of good and normal looking moves that white will be making in the beginning, because they will soon turn much worse. Queen a4, a very aggressive looking move for getting the queen out, but it's really completely harmless. All this queen is doing right now is pinning this pawn, so it cannot move, but I don't really mind. I'm actually really thinking about just taking this pawn. I don't see a reason why I shouldn't, so I'm gonna be a little bit greedy and just say this is a pawn. How are you going to win it back? Okay, b4. White is really playing on the queen side over here, and I should probably continue my development. Getting ready to castle, I think just those two things, getting your king into safety, taking pieces that can be taken, and developing your pieces. I think that's the way to win against these bots. Though I must say I'm a little bit tempted to go queen f6 to attack the pawn down here. Or I could go queen here and attack it. No, I'm gonna try to play some more normal looking chess, and I'm gonna develop instead. I'm gonna develop this bishop, and I'm gonna go like here, because I don't want to win on cheap tricks. Actually, I don't mind at all. I just want to castle first, so that I'm not getting into any troubles. Okay, bishop d3. Not the worst move. It is attacking my knight, my beautiful knight in the center. I could just retreat with the knight, or I could protect it with my f-pawn. This would allow white to check me on this diagonal. Then I could just go in the corner with my king. I don't see that that's going to be a problem. Okay, white captures. This is of course a fine option. And I do get a doubled pawn. I'm sorry, it's just king e2 is just such an absurd move. I do have this double pawn. I don't really mind because 1, I am up a pawn, and 2, this open rook file looks very good. And also 3rd, this move is of course just without any reason, completely unnecessary. Now white can never castle. The poor knight here could already not go here, and now it can't go here either. This is so much fun. It really gets your self-esteem up. Okay, let's continue developing. I like this knight moves because knight, now it can also go here with a check. Okay, f4. Again, a completely, I want to say, idiotic move. Just lets me grab another pawn, and I can take with the rook, I can take with the pawn, or I could still give this check. I'm almost like the only problem I have is that I have too many good moves. I think I'm gonna capture with the pawn, why not? I think these two pawns, they just look so strong together. Okay, finally white is developing something other than their king and queen. And oh, I have so many options. I could go here with the knight, giving a check. I could go f3 also with a check. And that would also create a passed pawn. I think that's what I like the most. Let's go here. White captures. But now I will capture back with my pawn with a check. And it's protected by my rook on f8. Okay, king e3. This is one very brave king. Not afraid of anything, leading the way for his pieces. I mean, I'm tempted to go here with my bishop, let white capture, and then get my queen involved. I think that's absolutely devastating. I could, however, also just include another piece by moving my d-pawn. Let's just move it 2 squares up, and this way we see that the knight on h3 is under attack. Oh, well, I am actually surprised that the engine at this level knows about en passant. So this pawn can capture my pawn as if it only went to d6. Very impressed by this. However, I can just take back with, I like a number of pieces, but I think I like queen captures the most. Just because it gets another piece into the attack and the queen is kind of close to the king already. Okay, d3. Do I not have... Oh, I don't have checkmate in... I do have checkmate. No, it's not checkmate yet. However, I can threaten checkmate in one move. No, I can't. I mean, I have some checks here, like this check would be very good, queen check, but the king would be able to hide on d2. Then I was looking at this queen check, but of course the knight could capture, but maybe I'm overthinking this. It's not so complicated. I'm just gonna capture the knight. The king now, I think he regrets being this active, tries to run back. And I think now is the time to just... Oh, I mean, I could even push my pawn. I think that's the most fun. Okay, the queen now, he actually wanted to be active. He can't really make up his mind. Do I not have checkmate now? Queen here is very close to checkmate. Now I just want to be evil and checkmate by making a knight. I can't do that yet, but I think that will be my goal for this game. I might just as well have a little bit of fun with it. So let's attack the rook, because I know that they're not going to move the rook apparently. And then I will capture, so that I'm ready to promote to a knight. But I'm not going to do it just yet. I will only promote once it will be checkmate. If I promote right now, the king, if I promote to a knight, it's almost checkmate, but the king could go to one of these 2 squares. So I have to take care of that. We can start by capturing this pawn. Okay, it's completely desperado now. Queen captures here. And would it be checkmate now? no, the king would still be able to go to this square. If I put my queen on d1, I don't even want to capture the queen. If I go queen d1, I would be threatening to go f1 and make a knight. I think that's what we're gonna do. Queen goes back. And now f1, if I make a knight, is that not checkmate? It is, right? Because the bishop will take care of this square and this square. The rook will take care of these squares. The queen will take care of the others. So yeah, I'm gonna go here. Then I'm gonna select a piece. It's a good thing that I actually lost my knights, because otherwise I couldn't do this. I'm gonna take a knight and it's checkmate. So, I'm having way too much fun doing this. Okay, we're gonna go to home. I'm gonna go play bot. I must say level 2 wasn't really much better than level 1. So let's go to level, I mean, we could jump to level 4. How many levels are there in total? No, I think we're gonna continue. I have so much fun just beating these bots. And still random. Gonna set up the pieces. By the way, I have a link and a promo code in my description for this video. If you want a board like this for yourself, I have a 10% discount. I'm gonna click play. And okay, the bot is not letting me get the white pieces. I don't really mind though. C4, same opening as last time. Should we play something else? I think I played e5 last time. I think we can do like this. Okay, this is a very weird looking move because I wanted to play this anyway, and now it's with an attack. Oh, but maybe level 3 is not so stupid. They're actually blocking this threat on the rook. How disappointing. Fine, I'll just develop d4. And should I castle? Why not? Here. Bishop f4. Okay, very good. So I haven't really done too much about the center yet. I've just focused on my castling over here. So I probably should try to challenge the middle of the board. I can do this in a few different ways. I think I like d6, and then I can try to go e5. Okay, this should be 3. A little bit weird because they just put their bishop here and now they kind of regret it. It's also blocking the e-pawn, which is not so good because then this bishop will have a hard time getting out. And I'm just thinking that now I can actually challenge the center of the board. Knight f3. So far they haven't lost any material, and now they're actually attacking my pawn on e5. I could capture on d4. I could go to e4, or I could just protect it. Maybe with, oh, maybe that's not so good. I was thinking about knight c6, but maybe b5 can then be played. I think I'm just gonna capture d4. It might not be the best move, but it's not losing anything. Capture in d4 with the bishop. And now we kind of made some trades in the center, so like the e file is very open, so I could go rook e8. But I could also just develop some, like my queen side first. I think maybe putting this bishop out. I could go here. I could go here, attacking this pawn. But I think they want to push their e pawn anyway, and then the pawn will be protected. So let's go here. Okay, b5. Kind of hindering my knight to move out. So far the level 3 is much better than level 1 and 2. Granted, that doesn't say a whole lot, but still. Okay, I still want to get my knight out, and I can do it this way. I feel like whenever I compliment the bot, that's when it wants to play the weirdest looking moves. It just said how nice it was playing, and then it plays this. Knight b1 back to the starting square. I mean, it's not losing material, it's just such a weird move. And I have a huge lead in development, meaning that I have both of my knights are out, both of my bishops have been developed, my king has castled. If we look at the right side, only one knight and one bishop have been developed. The king has not castled, he's also not ready to castle yet. So I think this is the time to start attacking a little bit, and I think book e8 is a nice way. Sorry. I don't know what, maybe they don't know about castling until level 5 or something. But even if you don't castle, this is absolutely not necessary. Okay, it does get out of the e file, but it does allow me, like, I could give this check with the knight, or I think this check with the knight would be good if this bishop was undefended. So I think I have a smart thing here. I can capture an f3. Okay, they capture back, expected. Oh, actually I missed something now. Because of course now I think, I actually could still play knight e4, because if they capture, I can capture this bishop. I actually think that's not too bad. Yeah, let's just do it. I think I'm winning a pawn at least. Okay, they capture. Then I capture on d4, attacking the rook. And they could have now defended with knight c3, but instead the queen goes here. And I now can win a rook, and I think I'm gonna take my chance because so far it's actually even in material, so I should do this while I can. The king, of course, just tries to save the day by doing this. I'm just gonna try to checkmate him. It shouldn't take too long. Goes here. Is knight here not checkmate? Yeah, right. Yeah, it's checkmate. Okay, great. So it feels like it was playing much better for the first 10 moves or so, and then it kind of just collapsed. So maybe that's the way that they're playing. We're still in the lower levels, of course, so I think we'll have time for at least one more. Yeah, at least one more, maybe even two. We're gonna play bot. And I think I'm gonna set up the pieces first, because maybe that will help me actually get in a white game. Also, I want to say that if I get black again, then I will just choose to be white for the last game, because I feel like it's not being completely fair with the color picking. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go to level 4 now. Gonna click next. Next. And I play as random color. We can see the question mark here, meaning that it should be randomly decided. Play. Okay. Like, of course it is possible to randomly be black for 4 times in a row, but for the final game, I will just choose to be white. I don't think that is unfair. Okay, d4. Is that the first time that we see this move? I can't remember. I just remember that the last two is c4. Yeah, and the first one was knight c3. So d4. Let's try to play actually some opening. Let's go here and see what they play. Okay. I don't know what this is called. I'm out of theory on move 2. But probably that's because a3 isn't super ambitious. Okay, just gonna play normal moves. White is not. And maybe this time I should get out the bishop on this diagonal. Because this move is, I don't like this move for white, but at least it can be very aggressive. Like if I play g6 and bishop g4, at some point white is going to push this pawn to h5, trying to open up the rook. So let's just go like this. It does kind of block in my bishop and c8 a little bit, but it doesn't matter that much. Bishop e3, and I guess this bishop would be nice on d6. f4, okay. Weakening some squares down here. Whenever you move the f-pawn, the king doesn't really love that. Like this diagonal gets weakened. This diagonal gets weakened as well. But I don't want to be too impatient with exploiting it. I just want to, once again, make a castle, take care of my own king first, and then I can focus on my opponents. b4, okay. So, as usual, I'm quick to develop my king side, and my queen side is kind of like standing back a little bit. But I'm not sure where they should go. Maybe, I mean, if I do put my knight on this square, then the other knight can go and take over this square. I think that makes sense. I'm going to start with this move. Okay, h5. They're really just going for it over here. I'm not scared because, like, it's a premature attack, is what we call it. They're trying to attack, but they haven't gotten any pieces in the attack. All they really have is this Harry the H-pawn. He shouldn't, I mean, he should be completely harmless on his own. Yeah, I kind of like my plan about going here with the knight and then here with the other knight. And also, of course, it's attacking this bishop, going back. I'm getting a little bit of a déjà vu. Yeah, and then the other knight can go here. And maybe it will stay here to protect the knight, or maybe it will even jump to this beautiful square. I actually think that's what it's going to do. Because once the knight is here, both of my knights are going to be aimed at the f2 square. And rook h3 is not really getting out of the... Oh, I just saw something. So I was focused on knight here being a fork, but it's actually much more serious because white will not be able to save their queen. If I go here with the knight, then the queen can go here, but if I pick the other knight, then she will be trapped. So let's do that. Okay. So knight f3. Yeah, they couldn't save the queen anyway, so this makes sense. And I'll just capture the queen on d1, like so. And king captures back. And now I actually have yet another knight that can jump to f2. This time winning the rook as well. So it was a very nice deal that I got here. Okay. Bishop captures on h3. And here we see the trades that have been made so far. I won a rook and a queen, and the bot won 2 knights. And though I do love the knights, I think I got the better deal here. Okay. My bishop on c8 is still a little bit sad, so maybe I should take care of that. I could maybe push this pawn, or I could get it out on this diagonal. I think I like that. Going here. Okay. Knight jumps in the middle. That's a good looking knight, and I feel like since I'm up so much material, I can just trade some pieces now. White captures back. And this is a good example, I think, of not playing automatic moves. A lot of people might put their bishop here in d7 or even here in b7, but that's not the most active place for the bishop. Here in a6, it's actually much more active. It's eyeing all these squares. It could maybe even go to c4, or I could get my queen involved somehow and attack this pawn. And I see that white is actually helping me achieve this, because now the pawn is no longer protecting this square on h4. So I can go here with my queen. Queen h4, check. And king goes to d1. I can of course grab the bishop, and I think I'm gonna do that. But I could also just go straight for the e2 pawn. But then maybe white would be able to defend, I think. I'm just gonna pick up the bishop, not complicate things too much. And okay, b5. Not a problem. This bishop can simply capture the pawn, is not protected by anything. a4, they're really going at it. This time the bishop is threatened, and I cannot capture, as they will capture back. So I will... Actually, I don't have to move the bishop. I can give a check here instead. And then I can capture here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Check. King goes here. And I can take this pawn. Not quite checkmate, but it's really getting close. King goes here. I could go here with my queen, but then the king might go back. Oh, but then I could take this pawn. I think this must lead to checkmate one way or another. They go here instead. I think I have checkmate in 2 moves. You can try to see if you can spot it. If I move my queen just 1 square to the side to b4, then I'm giving check to the white king. White cannot block the check and must go to a2. And then my bishop can go to c4, and that's going to be checkmate. So we're gonna play it. Check. King goes here. And we have a checkmate here. Lovely. Okay. That was level 4. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna play the level 5. And this time I will insist to get the white pieces. So let me just set up first. Okay, we're ready. I'm gonna go 1 level up to level 5 and click next. And this time I don't want any assistance, but I do want to play with the white pieces. Let's go play. Okay, so let's see. Let's start out with d2 to d4, d6. And I am a firm believer that whenever you can take the whole center with white, you should do it. So I'm gonna play e4, knight f6. This is some kind of perch defense, a perk defense. Attacking this pawn, I will protect it with my knight, and they will be very aggressive and attack my queen on d1. Let's just block it with a pawn so that they have to move the bishop again. Okay, improvement on the bot right now. At least they're not going all the way back to c8. Here it's still developed. And here I could develop one of these pieces, but I really like this bishop on e3. h6 is fine, though a little bit passive maybe. And not sure where this knight is going. Maybe it has to go to e2, but I don't want to block my bishop. So let me develop that first. I kind of like it here in c4, keeping an eye on f7. Okay, h5. What a waste of time to go h6 and then h5 the next move. But okay. I'll develop my knight. And g6. Okay. Now they're most likely going to put their bishop on g7 and make a kingside castle. And once they do that, I would like to play my bishop here on h6. They're kind of surprising me now by playing on the other side of the board. And I have like the difficult decision right now. Should I castle kingside or should I castle queenside? I actually want to see what happens if I castle queenside, because black should take that opportunity to maybe create some counterplay over here, play something like pawn to b5. So I will give it a chance to make things a bit interesting. But no, the bot is choosing to play on this side of the board. They have spent 1, 2, 3 moves on this pawn. Not the most economic decision. And I think because I once again have this huge lead in development, I developed all my pieces, my rooks are connected. This should be the time to try to open up the position and go in for an attack. So I will play e5. Oh, okay. So this is what I'm talking about. They're actually making things a little bit interesting now by going b5. I could now capture an f6, but then they will capture in c4. So I think I want to play something called a desperado now. In chess, that means that of course there's a song called Desperado, that's an excellent song by the way, but if we capture an f7, then we give this bishop up, but we get a pawn for it, and we also ruin their right to castle. So let's sacrifice this bishop first, but it's only going to be a temporary sacrifice, because next move we're gonna capture the knight like this. And I don't know how I'm surprised. I just thought, like, as a rational human being, that capturing with the pawn would be the move here, but of course the bot here prefers to activate the king. Now I have a whole lot of checks to think about. I could give 2 checks with this knight, or I could go bishop g5. I feel like getting my knight into action makes a lot of sense. Let's go here maybe. I haven't really calculated anything. I'm just playing some normal moves. We can give another check. Okay, and the king goes back to e8. If I could get my queen here, that would be dangerous. I could also go knight f4 to attack g6. Let's do that. I feel like I have been sacrificing my knights the last few games. Oh, sorry. Though this time I actually want to try to keep at least one of them on the board. Okay, bishop h6, attacking my knight, but I can capture on g6, and then this bishop will protect the knight. Okay, a5. Not really paying attention to what's going on over here, and I can of course just capture the rook, which I should probably just do. But I also kind of want to get my queen into the white squares. Now let's capture the rook first, like this. I mean, they are playing on the white side of the board if you think in terms of where my king is. It's just that what I'm doing over here is so much more dangerous than what they're doing here. And I think now is the time to get my queen into action, and I can do it like this. Okay, oh, actually that's a good move. I mean, it's kind of too late to play good moves, but at least now if I go here, it won't be checkmate immediately. I'm still gonna give the check though. And the king goes here, and I am thinking, do I not have, I mean, I can see a checkmate. Maybe I can even, I just wanted to maybe do something with a queen sacrifice. But okay, let's just make the checkmate here. We have check here, king moves. Then we're gonna do something called a double check. So if I move this knight here, then both my queen and my knight will give check. This is what we call a double check. And the king has to flee. And now I could go queen f7, and that would be checkmate, which is of course even better than capturing the queen. But I could also capture here with my my taking with my bishop will be checkmate as well. I think that's a slightly more pretty checkmate, so we're gonna go with that one. Okay, that was level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I must say I wasn't really challenged. But of course I shouldn't. I mean, I would expect to be able to beat them at this level. Let me know if you want a part 2 of this video where I go for maybe level 6, 7, and 8. And then for another video I could do the higher levels, but I think I'm gonna be super challenged once I maybe hit 9 or 10. Then I think it's going to be difficult, and I might have to spend a little bit more time. I don't expect to get as many presents as I did in these games. But thank you so much for watching. As I mentioned previously, I do have a link and promo code in my description if you want one of these ChessUp boards for yourself. And I'm just gonna put up the pieces now and wish you a very good night's sleep or a good day depending on what time you're watching this video.